Play our planes. Multiple things happen. We have landfall here. The trigger twice. Return our card draw here. 4 cards. Hi, it's Vex, and it's finally time to do a deck tech for Elesh Norn, Mother of Machines. And I know this is in Phyrexian because this is the only one I'm able to open. So let me read this for you. 4 and a white, legendary creature, Phyrexian Praetor, Vigilance. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes an ability of yours to trigger, it triggers an additional time. And then the reverse is if a permanent enters the battlefield that causes an opponent's ability to trigger, it doesn't trigger. So basically, Elesh Norn is one of the most powerful commanders I have seen, or just legendary creature in general that can go into 99. I forgot she is also a 4/7. Of course, this is the face card of Phyrexian All Will Be One, and it is insane. Even Sheldon Menery of the RC requested that this version of Elesh Norn never see print, and Wizards ignored him and put her in print. In summary, this is what happens. Me, I get 2x. You get 0x. You get nothing. So this is a doubler, which is, people love this card. Panharmonicon doubles things. This artifact creatures, this doubles everything. Land, landfall, enchantment fall, anything. And then also the bottom part is a stax piece, a Torpor Orb, which is definitely not in this deck that we kind of mean. Gives opponent nothing. So the reason we want to play it is the first ability, and I wish they made a card that's not Elesh Norn that just gave the first ability, like a Yarok ability, which is insane. But now it's stapled to the second ability, which all Praetors do, right? They give you something and they take something away from the opponent. So it's on theme for the Praetor, but it's insanely powerful. And we are going to take that power and show the opponent what's up. And that power is blinking things and having good ETB effects. And I also brought this mat because you ask your opponent, why so salty? When they played their Avenger of Zendikar, Crayerhoof Behemoth, nothing happens because I got Elesh Norn on the board. That's probably why they're so salty. Anyways, before we go into deck tech in deep, don't forget to have all your tokens. This deck doesn't run that many tokens because it's all ETB effects. There's some ETB. They all are created by ETB effects, most of them. And then I have the deck list in the description below. Right there, you want to check that out. All the cool affiliate links help support the channel. To begin, we had to include the OG, original Elesh Norn Grand Cenobite at 7 mana value, which I think, this one should have been at the same 7 mana value, but, they made it, 4 in a white, which is extremely easy because it's just 1 white. This is 5 white, and they're both 4/7s, both vigilance. This Elesh Norn basically says other creatures you control, +2/+2, and creatures your opponents control, -2/-2. So pretty insane power, considering, both Elesh Norns are insane. So we gotta have the secondary Elesh Norn, the OG one, in the deck. We want to have Panharmonicon, double up triggers if Elesh Norn can't make it to the battlefield, or triple up triggers if they're both in the battlefield, which is great. We want things that ETB and do things. This deck is white, and you know what? They've granted white a lot of card draw on creatures, on things. So we want, ETB do things, ETB removal, ETB card draw, ETB get something back from graveyard, ETB, value. So we want a lot of these things right here. And then we also have some cards that do blinking. So if you have Elesh Norn, this Elesh Norn on the board, I say Panharmonicon is on the board. You have Spirited Companion on board. You blink it, right? It gets exiled, comes back, ETB trigger, you get to draw 2 cards here. So the deck is all about drawing tons of cards. We don't have a lot of ramp because we just want to draw lands and just play land drops every single turn. And, as I evolve in my commander deck building career and as a YouTube content creator, I feel like I need to do less ramp down on the ramp, and ramp up on the card draw. So this deck is one of my first experiments of having a higher land count. This deck does have 40 lands because I just want to draw lands and play one every single turn. I've seen so many games where people have 37 lands and they're just always missing land drops. We just never want to miss a land drop. We just want to keep playing because we're drawing tons of cards with our double trigger here. We're blinking tons of things. The value train keeps coming. Without further ado, our first section is card draw. Essentially, all these guys are basically worded ETB draw a card in different ways. ETB draw a card, this is straight up. ETB draw a card. ETB, draw a card, gain life. Same thing, draw a card, gain life, draw a card. Some are bigger, 2/2s, 2/1s, 2/1s, some fly. You have Sky Scanner, ETB, draw a card. Combat Thrasher from Brothers Wars, interesting. It does have 7 mana value, but you pay the prototype, 2 and a white, double strike, ETB, draw a card. Or if you do have 7 mana, because you want to play that land every turn, you get to 3/3 double strike, ETB, draw a card, which is very good. Then you have the 3 card draws, which I consider staples of Commander, and white miniature creatures. Rumor Gatherer, Welcoming Vampire, Mentor of the Meek. Essentially, another creature ETBs, you draw a card, or scry, draw a card, pay mana, draw a card. So the idea is you want to draw a card. So these are just the natural card drawers. Next set of cards, like I call it pseudo card draw because you are getting card advantage from these items. We have the 3 creatures here: Core Cartographer, ETB, put planes onto the battlefield. Psalm Simulacrum, ETB, put planes from the battlefield because we're playing mono white, of course. Right here, Pilgrim's Eye, ETB, put planes cards in your hand. Mycosynth Wellspring, ETB, planes card in your hand, or when it dies, put planes card into your hand. Arcane Answers Map, which is insane with Elesh Norn. ETB, put 2 planes cards in your hand. So you get 4 cards. So it's almost like a draw 4 if you got Elesh Norn on the board. So I really love these cards. Virtual card draw and ramp at the same time. And I'm going to keep reiterating this fact. We just love drawing lands, putting lands onto the battlefield. Again, always want 1 land every turn. If we can play more lands because of these cards here, that's great. But 1 land a turn, that's our baseline goal. And with all these, I think we can meet that goal. Next up is some removal here. We have ETB removal. I forgot to mention, if you are playing against an opposing Elesh Norn, your deck just crumbles. You need to have natural non-ETB removal to remove your opposing Elesh Norns because they'll just negate each other. So it'll be like me 0x, you 0x if you have an opposing Elesh Norn. So just remember that. So we do have like Swords of Plowshares just in case, people do play this kind of commander or stacks pieces. But anyways, let's go to the ETB removal. We do have a lot of the removal on our creature suite. Right here, 6 creatures. Fiend Hunter, ETB, exile another creature until this leaves the battlefield. Skyclave, Apparition, exile a 4 mana value card. They get back an illusion with the mana value of the thing that you exiled, so it's gone forever, which is great. And embarrassing as it may say, I forgot my token, but I got it now, so it's coming in. Don't you worry, I have a token there. Lore on the 3rd path is a Rex Sage, but it's got Vigilance, ETB, destroy target artifact or enchantment, and it has secret card draw, like a secret rendezvous, right? You and target opponent each draw a card. And I love this card right here, and I don't play it as often, but I need to play it more. It's really, really good, except for it's triple white, which is hard to cast. 2 triple white, Clavicular Dawn, Vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent, so it's like a Beast Within. They make a golem. Then when it dies, return target artifact enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. So there's value everywhere with this card. You have Solitude, new pitch elementals from Modern Horizons 2. You could flash Lifelink, then you could play it, and then it's Source of Clouds or something, or you can evoke by exiling a white card. So it's really good in a pinch. If somebody's cobbling off, you're tapped out, you can Solitude. And then if you have Elesh Norn out, you can get rid of 2 things. Angel Ruins, I actually really love this card. It does cost 7 mana value, but when ETBs, you exile 2 artifacts or enchantments, or you get your planes. Again, we want to be playing lands all the time, so that's why that's in there. It does double duty. And Cavalier Dawn can get this back because it's an artifact. You have Grasp of Fate, so you get the Oblivion Ring each opponent twice, so 6 permanents with Grasp of Fate, which is pretty neat with Elesh Norn on the battlefield. More ETB synergies here. We have the Graveyard synergies along with our Cavalier of Dawn here. Little Cavalier Dawn Graveyard synergies. Karmic Guide, ETB gets something back. Sun Titan is something. ETB gets something, mana value 3 back. And then when it attacks, you get something back. Then we have a Myria Shepherd, which is something that's really cool. 7 mana value again. As long as we're playing our lands, we can cast these big creatures. And that's what Commander's about, casting big creatures, right? Flying 4/4. Whenever land enters a battlefield under your control, you may return target non-land permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. If it lands a plains, which you do play a bunch of them, you may return that non-land permanent card to the battlefield instead. You get to do it twice with Elesh Norn, which is insane. I've seen a lot of decks play Soul Warden, but I believe there's more high-impact cards than Soul Warden, which is when a creature ETBs, you gain 1 life. Here we have Suture Priest and Distinguished Conjurer. Suture Crease is when another creature ETBs under your control, you gain life. However, the important part is, I mean, you gotta win the game, is when a creature entering the battlefield under your opponent's control, you may have that player lose 1 life. And essentially, with Elesh Norn, it's 2 life per creature they play. They put a token army onto the battlefield, boom, boom, tons of life lost. Distinguished Conjurer, brand new card from Jumpstart 2022, 1 in white. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, gain 1 life. So same for half as Suture Priest, but the cool part is you pay 4 in a white, which is expensive, but you can blink something. Exile another target creature you control, then return to the battlefield, which is insane. Blinking is the name of the game. This is what this deck wants to do most of the time. Preston the Vanisher is that when another creature ETBs under your control, if it wasn't cast, therefore blinked, either by Distinguished Conjurer or other blink spells like Ephemerate, create a token as a copy of that creature, except it's a 0/1 white illusion. Then, which I've never done, you can pay 1 white, sacrifice 5 white illusions, or 5 illusions, even the one from Skyclave Apparition, because that's an illusion. Exile target non-land permanent. So it's a little bit of removal there. Most likely it won't happen, but with Elesh Norn, you can get a lot of things going on there. Feldar Retreat, one of our finishers, another landfall card. Landfall, make a white 2/2 white cat, or +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So you could double up those triggers, which is pretty insane with Feldar Retreat. This is where it gets interesting because you have blinking ETB creatures. So you have these creatures right here: Charming Prince, Flicker Wisp, Feldar Guardian, Restoration Angel. Essentially ETB blink, which is insane with Elesh Norn, because what happens is you ETB trigger twice, so you blink 2 things. Those 2 things go away. Then they come back for another double trigger. So you get this Charming Prince can blink something, 2 things. Then those 2 things would quadruple up. So you get 4 triggers from 1 card, which is insane. ETB, scry 2, gain 3 life, or blink. The cool part is you can do blink cascade, which is really neat. You have multiple blinker ETB blinkers here. Blink Charming Prince right here. So let's say Flicker Wisp blinks Charming Prince, and then Feldar Guardian. They both get exiled. They come back. They blink 2 things. Then you could blink the Flicker Wisp again, and you blink each other. So it's really neat. But the text on the here is very interesting. So the best thing is blinks Feldar Guardian, of course. But like Flicker Wisp, exile another target permanent, return that card to the battlefield under owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. And the same thing, next end step. So it's not as infinite as you would think it would be, but Feldar Guardian, Restoration Angel blink instantaneously right there. So they can go off with each other. So it's pretty neat. And I think this is a combo. Tell me if it is, because I think it really does sound like a combo. I'm convincing myself it's a combo. Okay, so you have the ETB blinks, and you have other ETB cards, or other cards that are non-ETB blink, I should say. And these cards are actually pretty cool because you have Eldrazi Displacer, which has an activated ability right here, and it's colorless, so our mana base has to accommodate that extra requirement here. Exile another target creature and return to the battlefield tapped under its own control. So you can tap blockers, get through. So you can tap your opponent's stuff, and because you have Elesh Norn, blink your opponent's stuff. And with Elesh Norn, their ETB won't trigger, or you blink your own stuff over and over again. So that's pretty neat. It's kind of like our Preston the Vanisher. So let's just put this here. Preston also deserves a slot in here. We'll go through these areas, and then we'll get to Eternal Wanderer in a minute. Ephemerate, blink, and then rebound, blink again next turn. Sword of Hearth and Home. I really like this card because it ramps, which is exactly what we want to do continuously. Is when a quick creature deals damage to a player, exile up to 1 target creature you own, then search your library for a basic land card. Put both the cards onto the battlefield under your control, then shuffle. So you get to blink anything and ramp, which is exactly what this deck wants to do. Teleportation Circle, beginning of end step, blink something. It's pretty neat. Then the Eternal Wanderer. The Eternal Wanderer does double duty, or triple duty. 4 whites, 6 mana value, quite hefty, and has a static. No more than 1 creature can attack the Eternal Wanderer each combat. And I think it's got the step and complete foiling with this Phyrexians. Can you see that? That's pretty neat, huh? Okay, anyways, back on track. +1. Exile up to one target artifact or creature, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of that player's next end step. So the only adding the next end step, so you can't do this weird infinite thing here. But it does have a +1 blink, a 0, make a 2/2 samurai with double strike. Pretty neat. And my favorite right here, the third ability, -4, which is you can do right away because she starts with 5. For each player, choose a creature that player controls. Each player sacrifices all creatures they control not chosen this way. So Elesh Norn can do like one of these partial tragic arrogance board wipes. I really love. Then you get to make the choice, which is insane. And the Eternal Wanderer actually blinks as well. So all this synergy right here in the deck. So at this point, if you're still watching, you're like, Vex, how do you win this game? You got little tiny creatures. All you do is drawing cards and playing lands and drawing more cards and playing lands and blinking things. Well, let me entertain you and tell you how you win this game. You are drawing a lot of cards. Usually if you've played Magic, you don't need that many win conditions if you draw a lot of cards because your win condition will eventually come. Anyway, so the win cons are, these are the basic win cons. Obviously, you can still attack with your little creatures and kill things. But the basic win con, the biggest win con is Cathar's Crusade right there, which I saved. I didn't show you on the other slides, but Cathar's Crusade is a good win con. And always bring your dice when this happens. 3 white. When a creature entering the battlefield under your control, puts a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So, when a creature ETBs under your control, +1/+1 counter on the team. Twice. With Elesh Norn. That's insane. Elesh Norn Grand Cenobite is a second win con because it makes your creatures bigger, shrinks theirs. They probably have a smaller army. Go in for the win. Eldrazi Displacer. I don't know why I switched positions, but it's another win con because you could, with Elesh Norn on the battlefield, you can blink without regard to what they do, ETB, because they get nothing. Tap all the creatures, attack for the win. Next win con is value. Panharmonicon, Elesh Norn. You outvalue the opponent, you play tons of lands, you win the game. You find something to win the game with. Felidar Retreat is kind of like a Cathar's Crusade, double landfall, bam. These two work insane together. Landfall, this makes a creature. Creature makes +1/+1 counters. This can also do landfall, put a +1/+1 counter on your team. And they also gain vigilance until end of turn. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, a lot of things are vigilant, by the way, in this deck, which is pretty neat. So that is the primary win cons of this deck. However, I do have what I call the deck combo. Because this deck wants you to blink a lot of things, and I didn't go through this in the beginning because I want to save for this section, is we have mass blink spells like Eerie Interlude. Let's move this forward more. Eerie Interlude right there. And remember how I said about till end of turn, they're using it as a new technology to try to prevent you from going infinite. However, it's good. It helps us in our benefit in this way. Let's read Eerie Interlude. 2 and a white instant. Exile any number of target creatures you control. Return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So essentially, if somebody does a board wipe, let's say we do a board wipe, Vanquish the Horde, right there. We do a board wipe, put that on the stack. In response, we'll Eerie Interlude all of our creatures away, right there, so they don't die. Everything your opponent has dies. They come back, trigger all these massive ETBs, then you go on and win the game. With that being said, we actually have 5 rafts here. We're bound to draw one, hopefully, with our card draw and our ETB, our deck thinning. We have fetch lands also thin our deck, which is cool. 5 board wipes that say destroy, not exile. I try to avoid the word exile because we have these protection spells. Right here, 6 blink protection-ish spells right here. We have the 3 mass blink ones. You blink your entire team. They come back at the end of turn. Eerie Interlude, Ghostway, Semester's End, blinks the entire team, comes back. Each of them come back +1/+1 counters. Triggers Elesh Norn, win the game, value. Then we have the 2 make indestructible spells. Flawless Maneuver, which is free with Elesh Norn, which is cool. Then you have Chroma's Will, which is another finisher, which I don't know why I didn't put in the finisher pile, but it is a finisher. I forgot to mention that as well. Because creatures you control gain Flying, Vigilance, Double Strike. Then they gain indestructible protection from all colors until end of turn lifelink. So, incredibly hard to block with protection from all colors. With Elesh Norn on the battlefield, you get both modes. So you get to protect and win. You have Cosmic Intervention right here, which is a little risky, 3 and a white. If a permanent you control will be put into the graveyard from the battlefield this turn, exile instead, return to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So if something would die, this turns into a replacement effect. It'll exile it, put it back. So it'll do a mass blink. So you have to actually have them die, or almost die, which is kind of interesting. It can save your board. You can foretell it and then play it for 2 mana later on. So Cosmic Intervention is cool. You know, like you could play it the floor is you crack a fetch land, you play Cosmic Intervention, it comes back. You know, because any permanent even lands. So that is I call it the combo here to make your opponents miserable. And then you have a huge board. They have no board attack. As I mentioned before, there is a possibility of having double Elesh Norn on the board. These are your only outs. Unfortunately, the deck is very geared toward having your commander and the theme of the commander. But you have Swords of Plowshares, Path to Exile, and Generous Gift as your general removal spells that are non-ETB. They're just, you know, sometimes you gotta have a fallback plan. Soul Guide Lantern removes that graveyard. Graveyard. Every deck's a graveyard deck, so this is always good. We are playing, you know, minimum ramp here. I mentioned you want to play 1 land per turn, but of course you got to play Soul Ring. Soul Ring's insane. You have a turn, you know, possibly turn 2 Elesh Norn, turn 3 Elesh Norn, pretty good. Per Medallion. I mean, come on, we're playing white. This is really insane in this deck. Thought Vessel. The only reason we're playing it is not because of the ramp, but more because of you have no maximum hand size with our card draw. There is the Decanter that it's a 3 mana value rock, but we're playing 1 color, so I don't think it's worth that 3 mana value rock. I'd rather just play another ETB, draw a card, or just discard. It's not that bad. So our land package is quite interesting here. We just play a lot of things that produce white that have different names for our Field of Dead because Elesh Norn gets to trigger it twice. So we've kind of warped it around 1 land, but this land's extremely good. So we're actually playing Command Tower in a monocolor deck, which we rarely do, but it has a different name. Helps trigger Field of Dead. We are playing Plains, which we'll get to in a bit. Idyllic Grange and Mistville Plains, which are plains themselves, can be fetched with the 4 fetch lands here. These fetch basics right here, but all these fetch plains. The white utility lands, Windbrisk Height with Heist with Hideaway helps you castings if you tackle multiple creatures. A Mara gets you things back from your graveyard, and 2 Ganjos. One's a child land, one is, you know, prevent damage. Castle Ardenvale makes dudes. So all these things that primarily come into play untapped, I believe. These come into play untapped-ish. This one comes to play tapped, untapped, Shephet Dunes. This does actually help cast our Eldrazi Displacers or play its ability with the colorless mana. So does Field of the Dead. Fivestone's Trocaire. More of the extra lands. Nykthos, Shrine of Nyx produces tons of white because you are playing a monocolor deck with Devotion, so it's insane. Bonder's Enclave, War Room, draw a card, and this is cool because draw a card, activate if you only have a creature power 4 or greater. Commander happens to have a 4 power, which is great. War Room, we're playing monocolor deck, so pay 3, tap, lose a life, draw a card. Homeward Path, I've noticed recently that a lot of people like to steal my stuff, or steal everybody's stuff, and I love stealing people's stuff, so this is insane against me, but it's insane in the deck. Each player gains control of all creatures they own, so very good there. Reliquary Tower, we're drawing lots of cards, so we want to keep things in our hand. Copy spells. Vesuva Thespian Stage, copying Field of Dead is insane. Or copying, well, you can't really copy Nykthos because that's legendary. Well, you can, but you'd sacrifice one of them. But copying these things are good as well. I did mention we are playing like a 40 land deck because we want higher land count, play more, have guaranteed, or help us guarantee a land drop each turn. But we are playing fetch lands, these 6 fetch lands I showed, but we also have Myriad Landscape. These are all the sackable lands, so essentially we have about 11 sackable lands that do stuff. It's cool because we're playing monocolor to have more utility. So eventually in the late game we can sack these lands and get more value, scavenger ground, kill some graveyards, which we hate graveyards. Not our graveyard, but the opponent's graveyard, because they always want to do stuff with it. Strip Mine, kill that Gaia's Cradle, or their opposing Field of the Dead. Blast Zone, kill a bunch of things, and Command Beacon, get an Elesh Norn back, because people always want to kill Elesh Norn all the time, so that's right there. We do have our planes. We have 6 regular planes here. We have new all is 1 planes, and then we have 5 snow-covered planes. Again, consideration for Field of the Dead. All right, that is the deck tech. I hope you learned something new. If you want me to learn something new, leave them in the comments below. Tell me how this deck works, or tell me how you have your deck built. This deck is really, really customizable. I customize it for card draw, land, blink, and the combo, of course, because I think it's fun to mess with the opponents. Again, you want them to be salty. They see Elesh Norn, they should know. Yeah, it's time to be salty. That's right, because it does shut down their stuff, along with doubling your stuff. And if they have like a Ravenous Chupacabra to kill your Elesh Norn, nope, not going to happen in this lifetime. So that is pretty neat. Anyways, I'm going to shuffle this deck up and do a little gold fishing. But before I do the gold fishing, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be alerted for new videos in the future. I have a deck list in the description below, along with TCG Player, eBay, all this fun affiliate links, socials that you can reach me at. The best way to reach me is just leave a YouTube comment. I answer those periodically. Sorry I can't answer all of them because there's too many comments, and I'm busy building my deck and trying to stay organized, which is the hardest part, staying organized. Anyways, we're going to shuffle this deck up, and we'll be right back. We are back. Turn 1. That's right. So the interesting thing is with all these variants, I don't even know which one's worth what anymore. I wish I had the English variant, and it's funny. It's like I'm going on a little rant before we start, but if you're a new player, you open this, you're like, what does this do? What card is this? I have no idea. But if you're an old player like me that plays a long time, you're like, I know exactly what it does because I've seen the hype. Anyways, let's see what we got. We got 4 mana value, 8 mana value, and a 7 mana value card, which is great. Let's keep it all. We don't have a lot of planes for Emiria, but we could, play this. These two ETB tapped. No one can steal our stuff, which is great. But we do have a card draw spell. That's good. Okay, turn 1 here. Ooh, even cheaper card draw spell. Would like it. We'll play our land into play tap. Remember, this is a grindy deck. It's not about getting on the board fast. It's about land drops, and more land drops. We have this board wipe, take care of things. Card draw, keep velocity through our deck, which is great. So turn 2. Here, Charming Prince, another 2 drops. Sweet. Okay, so now we have options. Plays land, play tapped. Hope to get a bunch of planes to play untapped. Comes in untapped if you have 3 more planes. It is a planes itself. Counts for a mirror, so it's great. So I think we just start the value train. We'll play a land. We'll play our Wall of Omens. Right there, we'll draw a card. Perfect, more lands, exactly what we want. All right, turn 3. So again, going off slowly. Teleportation Circle, more blinky. Okay, so we could save Charming Prince for when Elesh Norn's on the battlefield. We could play our 3-drop. Then we have 2 untapped lands, so it's good. We might consider playing this tap next turn, so we play Elesh Norn on turn 5. We'll see how the game progresses. Depends, if you want to just sandbag all your creatures, play Elesh Norn later, do a board wipe first. But let's keep the value train going. Bonner's Enclave. Or we could play, Felder Retreat next turn. We'll play our Combat Thrasher in the prototype mode. So it's a 1/1 right there. 3 mana 1/1. ETB, draw a card. Distinguished Conjurer, or more 2 drops is great. Okay, turn 4. This is where it gets interesting. We've drawn lots of cards, or fetch land, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards, which is great. See here, so we can save this because we can get our planes here. So 1 more planes, this comes into play untapped, gives a counter. And then this has an ETB trigger too. I forgot to mention it in the deck tech, but yes, has an ETB trigger, gets doubled with Elesh Norn, which is great. Okay, so let's play this here. We'll save our fetch land because we will play Felder Retreat right here, and then we do the good stuff later. Okay, let's play Felder Retreat. We have good blockers here. 1/1 double strike, 0/4. No need to go fast. Next turn, we'll play this here. We'll go up to turn 5. Play a land, which is great. Thespian Stage. So now I have choices, and I think what we want to do is, it depends on if the coast is clear or not. If the coast is not clear, let's say your opponents got off to a mighty start, right? We'll play our Thespian Stage here. We'll play our double white. Actually, maybe not that Thespian Stage. We are clamped on white mana, actually. It's interesting to note that because you need Vanquish the Horse double white. I wanted to play this. So, I think what we'll do is we'll just play our Thespian Stage. We will we'll play Vanquish the Horde. Let's say we're in a defensive manner, we just want to clear the board. No problem there. right there. We just make a cat, but we just vanquished it, so it doesn't matter which option we choose there. Then we'll use specimen stage to copy our planes. So now we have a third white source. Then we'll pass the turn. Turn 6, now that we've cleared the board. I've noticed, and I watch a lot of EDH games on YouTube and stuff, and notice a lot of people don't play a lot of board wipes. In this deck, you know, board wipes are great because we have tons of value going on here. So now what we can do is we tap our 5 mana, play Elesh Norn here. Then we could play our, since we have Felder Retreat, we could play our Arid Mesa. Trigger this, make a cat. Right there. Twice, 2 cats. Now your opponent's stuff is shut off because Elesh Norn's on the battlefield. We'll sacrifice this. We'll go get a plains card. We'll trigger this again. We'll make another 2 cats here, or we can make 3 cats and everything gets +1/+1. So you might make bigger cats here. That's right. This would be a 2/2 cat. I don't know how I got 1/1 cat. Cat beast token. Let me get the right token. I messed up. Can't believe it. This is what happens when they make the same token, 2 different cat tokens in the set. So this is the real cat token, cat beast. I was like, why is this a 1/1? I was confused. Okay, so now there are 3 3s, 3 3 3s, because this triggers twice, so you get to choose the modes. Instead of triggering the same thing twice, you can choose make a cat +1/+1 counter. So I'll make a cat first, make the third cat. Everything has, you know, 3 3, so I have 9 power. Plus 5 power, so I have 14 power in 1 turn, which is great. I'm still going to search for my land, which I have half the deck in my hand here. Get a plains, so I think I want to get the one that ETB's tapped, Mistfield Plains, because I don't need a white right now. So that triggered the Felder Retreat. Shuffle this deck up real quick right here. Cut the deck, put it back, pass the turn. Now everybody's starting over, rebuilding their boards. We do have 3 plains. This is a plains, remember. Okay, so turn 7. Right there. We'll draw a card. Boom, plains. Oops. I don't know how the insect got in there. That's the other token right there I actually put in my hand. Okay, now we got another real plains here. We have things to consider. Now we want to, let's see here. We'll play our Charming Prince first. Nothing to blink, not Charming Prince. Oh man, nothing to blink. We could play this, but this requires all of our mana. Play next turn. So I think the thing we want to do is play Distinguish Conjurer. Right there. We will then play our Plains. Right here, we'll save our Idyllic Grange for something else. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 plains for Miria. This will trigger twice here. So what I want to do is make a, let's see, make everything bigger twice. So +3, +3, +3, +3, +2, +2. So now I got big dudes. Elesh Norn can attack. She has Vigilance. Boom. For 7, which is the magic number. 3 attacks from Elesh Norn can kill somebody. I love Elesh Norn is so huge. We have tap mana to actually cast that doodad. So we'll tap mana there to cast this doodad. Then we'll do Teleportation Circle here. Remember, another creature, ETB, gain 1 life. Nothing to blink, but we're going to invest in the future. Playing Teleportation Circle right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there. We don't want to blink anything because nothing has ETB effect yet. But next turn, we will. Okay. Pass turn. 1 more turn here. See what kind of madness we can come up with here. Okay, so we draw our card here. Plains. That's right. We got Miria Shepherd, so we just play all of that right there. Play that for 7. Landfall. We'll play the Idyllic Grange. Actually, no, we'll play our Plains. Right there, we have multiple things happen. We have landfall here that trigger twice. This is a plains. So here we'll just make more cat tokens. We'll just use my old cat token and pretend it's something good right there. We'll make 1 cat token and then pump our team. So there's lots of options. I love it. So we'll pump our team here. Pretend this is a 2/2. Pump our team right there. Then here we'll return 2 things right to the battlefield because I did play plains. We'll return this one. And Wall of Omens here. Non-land permanent, so I can't do that. We'll return our card draw here. Right there, these 2 card draw. We'll draw 4 cards. Right there, which is great. So this is our hand. Here, we could say pass the turn, blink something. Let's say we'll want to blink our combat. Well, combat thrasher is a 3/3 double strike. We'll blink our Wall of Omens out, come back in, draw 2 cards, which is great here. And we played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1 land every turn. It's exactly where we want to be. Now we have full grip. We actually have to discard. We got 8 cards here. We have to discard. We have a bunch of creatures. So what we'll do is we'll discard. We'll discard a command tower. No, we like our lands. Oh, we have the combo here. So let's just discard. Let's discard Undoing Inversion. We don't care about that one that much. Okay, we'll pass turn. You know what? We'll play one more turn. We'll grind some more. We'll show you the combo, right? Okay, so now we untap here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planes. Almost, you need 7 planes for a Maria, which is ridiculous, but we're getting there. We are getting there. Okay, we'll draw 1 card per turn. Spirited Companion. We'll play our planes here, so it has several triggers. We will do +1/+1 on this own trigger, so 2 +1/+1 counters. Here we'll just make Elesh Norn gigantic. Here that's trigger, and then we have landfall triggers here and here. We'll just make more cat. We'll make our team bigger right here. So we have boom. This is the number of cats I have. No, it's +1/+1 counter. Sorry, it's hard to keep track of. May I actually use different colored dice to denote the number of creatures I have here. So we'll go up here, up here, up here. These 2 have 2 +1/+1 counters from Felder Retreat. We have nothing to get back from our Marion Shepherd right here. Target non-land permanent card, nothing, because we're so stocked. Okay, so what we do is, this is what we do, is we'll tap these 4. We will Wrath of God. In response, we will Akroma's Will with Commander. So all our creatures have flying, vigilance, double strike, indestructible protection from all colors until end of turn, lifelink as well. All right, with this combo executed, we wiped their entire board out, made our board indestructible, lifelink, vigilance, whatever, protection from all colors. We this is a 5/5 double strike here. This is a 2/6, or yeah. We just attack with everything, destroy whomever we need to destroy, and then move on, winning some more. That's basically how it works, right? Winning some more. Anyways, this is how the deck works. Prepare to have some dice. If you have, Felder Retreat on the battlefield, you could also pay the 6 mana to blink here, but why play 6 mana to blink? Because our hand keeps filling up. We keep playing more cards, gaining more value. This deck is insane. And then remember, don't forget, Elesh Norn's second ability shuts off all your opponent's stuff, which is amazing. So they try to kill Elesh Norn with hypothetically a Fiend Hunter. Doesn't work. So this is good for us. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planes, 6 planes, 1 more planes would do it. This command tower is not a planes. We get our Maria Sky Rune online. We get our Aaron Mesa back over and over again. Get landfall triggers over and over again. This deck is super powerful. Anyways, if you enjoy this deck tech, enjoy this gold fishing, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, hit notification bell to be alerted for new videos in the future. I have the deck list in the description below if you want to check that out with all the cool affiliate links, help support the channel. And as always, have a wonderful day.